Oh boy, what a volume we got here. So many spicy and unexpected events in this volume, and it's all thanks to the best waifu, Ichinose Honami. If you like her already, you'll probably be pretty happy with this volume, since this is the rise of the Honami volume. She feels a lot stronger and is comparable to Sakayanagi and Ryuan as a leader. So, without further ado, let's get into the spoilers. To everyone's shock, Ishinose quits the student council, leaving Horikita as the only candidate for student council president. To acknowledge Horikita as the new president, Nagumo says that Horikita must find a replacement for Ichinose and the first year student to fill for Yagami. The members end up being Kushida and the first year Nanase. Fun fact, Kushida made Horikita kneel to her as a sort of payment for joining. Thanks to Ichinose quitting, the bet between Nagumo and Kiyotaka was nullified. The bet consisted in choosing who would become the next president. Kiyo asked Nagumo for 20 million points, while Nagumo asks for Kiyo to get expelled if he wins. Ishinose classmates were worried about her, so they asked Kiyotaka to help and give some questions for her. Kiyo ends up asking Ichinose out for a date, and they end up meeting in a gym. When he asked about Amikura, Ichinose immediately started questioning him and ended up figuring out by herself that her classmates were worried about her, so they asked Kyo for help. This makes Kyo realize this is not the same Honami. She is no longer weak, even making Kyo uncomfortable with her deduction prowess. This date between Kyo and Ichinose end up creating a rift between Kei and Kiyotaka relationship. Kei is mad that Kyo is going in a one-on-one date with another girl. To this, Kyo shows indifference and talks coldly to Kei in an attempt to worsen their relationship. You might be wondering, what the hell is Kiyotaka doing? You need to remember this guy is weird. He wanted to experience everything in love and is using Kei as a textbook for love. Kiyotaka even says the textbook is reaching the end, leading people to believe Kiyokei will break by the end of the second year. We finally reach the scene that made everyone question Ichinose's character. So Kiyotaka and Onami end up meeting in his room. Honami talks about how she intended the gym date to be their last, so she could move on, but then she realized she wasn't hurt by Kiyo love towards Kei and decided to not give up on Kiyotaka. She ends up telling him she's gonna aim for Class A again, and for his heart, but she's not gonna interfere with his relationship with Kei. In fact, she actually tells him that he should reconcile with Kei. She wants to improve herself and hopes Kyo will end up noticing and falling in love with her. Best girl alert! To this change in Ichinose behavior, Kyo felt excitement towards what Ichinose would do and build in the future. So the special exam was not that interesting, so there's not much to say. It was boring, not much plot behind it. Orikita beat Sakayanage by using gestures to communicate, and Ichinose beat Ryuen by faking being affected by Ryuen shims. Sakayanage tells Kiyotaka that she didn't know Ichinose had such a power inside her. However, she also says if she draws in that power, she'll end up having a tragic end. The power Sakayanagi refers here is kinda ambiguous, not really anyone knows what she's referring to, but we could guess it's probably her deducting power. Kei gets a picture of Ichinose and Kiyotaka together. She tells Sato and they end up confronting Ichinose. Ichinose denies any type of relationship and Kei believes her. However, when Kei and Sato were leaving, Ichinose said in a low voice that there was nothing going on between them, but for now, and I quote, at least not yet. Sheesh! Ichinose is becoming quite yandere. By the end of the volume, Ryuen calls out to Ichinose. They talked about the exam results and the future. Ryuen reaches the conclusion that Ichinose changed and is glad that he's not facing her at the end of the year exam because she gave him an aura even more threatening than Sakayanagi. To end, Ichinose leaves us with a quote that reminds us of Kiyotaka, and I quote, "From now on, I won't have any mercy, regardless of my opponent. I'll do anything in order to win." Do you think Ichinose is going to become a female kiyotaka? Well, unlike Kiyotaka that only cares about himself, Ichinose has her whole class to protect, so this greed might be her downfall. However, we'll have to wait for the end of the second year to figure it out.
どんな犠牲を払おうと構わない。この世は勝つことが全てだ。最後に俺が勝ってさえいればそれでいい。